Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on May 27th, 2019, to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. And, to be honest, tonight's Raw was not that great of a show. I didn't think that there was much of anything that was going to hold anyone's attention, and, the main event, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins, was good, but the whole Seth Rollins having to sell his knee the whole time to make you think that, oh my God, he's down, he's hurt, Brock can cash in, and then he just wins, kind of took me out of it, even though it was a good match between both Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. But, other than that match, I didn't like anything on this show. And I mean anything. There was nothing else on tonight's Raw that I thought was appealing. And I do want to state one thing that has nothing to do with Raw. It has to do with the stream here tonight. If you guys hear yelling, screaming, loud music in the background, unfortunately, I've got some insensitive, whatever the word is, neighbors that live directly under me, thinking they run this damn apartment complex, always having parties, and they've got their music going. The music's been going for 12 hours. They got 24 people out there screaming, hooting, hollering. So if you do hear some weird stuff in the background, I don't know if it's going to be picked up quite a bit or not by my mic, but if you do hear it, I apologize for that. It's out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it other than not do the stream, and I wanted to bring you guys a Monday Night Raw review, even though tonight's Raw was not that good. So Raw kicks off tonight with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. And Brock Lesnar comes out there dancing. Got his hoodie on. Got his boombox. The money in the boombox, or whatever you want to call it. Boombox Brock. Seen a lot of different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different analogies for this on Twitter. He has a new t-shirt that says the Brock Party. Or no, not the Brock Party, just Brock Party. And so, it was kind of cool, but kind of dumb. Like, it was funny, but as far as the first 15 minutes of the show went, I felt like nothing happened. Brock came out, danced around, he played DJ, played Kofi's music, Kofi and Seth came out first, but nothing was really said there other than, I want Brock to come out. So when Brock did come out, like I said, he was beatboxing. Well, not beatboxing, but he was boomboxing. They made the Money in the Bank briefcase look like a boombox on one side, and it was just kind of dumb. So Seth Rollins comes out, and Seth Rollins is already out there with Brock, and Brock's looking at Kofi, so Kofi's music plays. Brock's the DJ. Then Seth's music plays, because Brock's the DJ. I'm like, really? Corey Graves was calling it his beast box. I guess you were supposed to think that the music was playing from his briefcase. I don't even know. So Lesnar mocked both guys for a little while. And Heyman said that it was very much like... No, hold on. Let me reiterate this. So the music stops, and Kingston dared Lesnar to cash in. Seth Rollins wasn't having any of this, and he was just like, fuck this shit, and walked out. So Heyman goes, well, looks like Seth Rollins peed on everybody's parade. We're not cashing in. We're not making our announcement right now. Rollins ruined the Brock Party. The crowd booed, and they left. And that was it. It was like 15 minutes into the show, and all we get is Kofi coming out saying, I was attacked by Dolph last week on SmackDown, but I want Brock to come cash in on me. Rollins coming out saying, I know I'm not Brock, but I'm better than you, and Brock should cash in on me. And then Brock coming out, and then Heyman saying, oh, never mind. That was 15 minutes wasted. Dumb. So then, as Kofi's all hot and heated, he gets attacked from behind by Dolph Ziggler, of all people. So Dolph runs out and attacks Kofi, hit him with a zigzag on the steel edge of the ramp, and as Ziggler grabbed a chair, but Xavier Woods ran down to make the save, Ziggler bailed through the crowd. Then After the commercial break, Xavier Woods helped Kingston towards the back when Ziggler attacked Woods from behind. Woods fought back, and they fought in the ring around ringside. Woods sent him into the crowd and chucked a garbage can at him. They went back into the ring, and Ziggler kicked his leg out from under him. Ziggler then tossed him into the steel steps, grabbed a chair, and nailed him with it a few times. Ziggler then choked him with the edge of the chair. He then wrapped Xavier's neck in the chair like he did to Kofi last week, but a limping Kofi ran down with a chair of his own to fight off Ziggler as Ziggler bailed through the crowd. Ziggler had some blood on his face, kind of made it look a little more, intense, but it was meh, to be honest. And that was the first half hour of the show, basically. Nothing happened in first half hour of the show. So after the commercial break, Ziggler came out through the stage, even though he was last seen in the crowd, to tell Kingston that he's been spending too much time focused on Lesnar, and he needs to focus on himself. Kofi needs to focus on Ziggler, that is, because he's defending his title against Ziggler at Super Showdown. So Ziggler said that it should be him as the WWE champion since day one. Kingston has had two friends defending him. He's never been able to do this on his own. When people called Kingston a B-plus player, Ziggler defended him because he knew he was good enough to be a champion. Yet Ziggler continued on to ramble and repeated that this should be him. He should have won the title at Mania, so on and so forth. Blah, 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 blah crap. Same thing we heard on Tuesday. Recycled bullshit. So Ziggler left, and the crowd chanted for Kofi. Again, 35 minutes of this show wasted. Then we see in the parking lot, Usos are holding a Memorial Day party with low-card wrestlers and a bunch of random people. Mainly a bunch of random people. They wished Natalya a happy birthday. EC3 sat there looking like he did not give two shits about this. And so the Usos said everyone was invited except the Revival. So backstage, Shane McMahon was with Charlie Caruso. He said he would beat down Roman Reigns at Super Showdown just like he would to his opponent tonight. Shane's music hit, and he came out with Drew McIntyre. They walked out on the stage. Then they changed their minds and went to the back. And Corey Graves, it might have been Michael Cole. So they change their minds and go to the back, and Michael Cole goes, Shane McMahon will be in action after this. So we go to commercial. When we come back, they were in the ring with Shane's music playing. And then they played a long video package hyping up Randy Orton versus Triple H at Super Showdown. And I'm like, what is this bullshit? This seems like it's all scripted on the fly. And so Shane said that the McMahon family and the Samoan dynasty have gotten along for a long time. But a long time before Roman Reigns came around, that was. There's always been respect between the two families, and the respect was ingrained in his childhood. But that respect was no longer ingrained because of Roman Reigns when he knocked out Vince McMahon. So Shane ran down some of the Samoan wrestlers, including Peter Maivia, The Rock, Yokozuna, the Usos, and the Wild Samoans. He mentioned Sika being the father of Roman Reigns, and went on and on and on and on as the crowd chanted, "This is boring." Shane then said, "Tonight, I'm gonna challenge or be challenged by a member of the Samoan dynasty." But who would that be? And then they go to another commercial break, 45 minutes into the show. Not a single match has happened yet. So Shane was sweating profusely when they came back from commercial, and nothing had happened. We learned that Lance Anoa'i, Roman Reigns' cousin, will be taking on Shane McMahon tonight. And basically, this match went 1 minute and 32 seconds with McIntyre beating the crap out of Lance at ringside, threw him back into Shane. Shane pretended to admonish him. And then the match finally started. And 50 minutes into this match, a bell rang for a match to start, if you can even call this a match. Shane threw some punches, and we started getting AEW chants. Shane threw a couple more punches, and we started getting "This is awful" chants. Lance attempted to come back, but Shane caught him with a Chris Jericho-inspired back elbow. Then this made him submit to a really bad-looking triangle choke. After the match, Shane applied the triangle choke again and mocked him, saying that he would do the same thing to Sika if Sika was here. Because Sika, he made a big mistake when he spawned Roman Reigns. Reigns then came out, gave McIntyre a Superman punch. Shane tried to run away, but Reigns caught him and gave him a Superman punch of his own. McIntyre pulls Shane out of the ring before Reigns can give him a spear, and then they cut to the back. And so at first, they just got the cameras on Shane, and they cut to the back, and you see Shane and McIntyre apparently about to leave. Cool. Hour down. One match, if you can even call that a match. So we see Lesnar and Heyman backstage. They kept letting us know throughout the night they haven't left. And they come out to the ring. And there's a referee in the ring. It was... Can't remember exactly who it was. Let me know in the chat. Kenny Smegma, yeah, you're banned for life. And I'm reporting you to YouTube for harassment. So, Heyman and Lesnar come out, and they start talking about the Money in the Bank. Crowd was very dead right now at this point. They were like, Brock needs to make a decision. Brock wants to make a decision. And then Rollins comes out and was just like, do it. Just cash in on me. Just cash in on me. And Paul Heyman starts reading the contract. And he's going on, and he's like, the winner of the contract has 1 year from the time of Money in the Bank 2019 to make a decision to cash in on said whoever the champion is, whether that's the WWE or Universal Champion. And Brock looks at Paul, kind of like stops him in his tracks, puts his hand over the mic and goes, wait, a year? And Heyman goes, well, yeah, you got a year to cash in. And Brock's like, really? And he's like, you didn't know that? And Brock goes, of course I didn't know that. And he smacks Paul across the face with the contract. And he goes, I've got a year to make this decision. I don't need to do it tonight. And he walks off with Heyman. And Corey Graves has a good line going, we may have Mr. Beast in the bank for a full year now. So the crowd began buzzing a little bit as they were chanting screw you as Brock Lesnar was walking off, because they thought they were getting a world title match tonight. I didn't think that was going to happen, though. So we go back to this party in the parking lot, this Memorial Day party, and R-Truth and Carmella are seen, and they run away from the likes of Drake Maverick, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Eric Young, EC3, and Cedric Alexander. Renee Young told us that she loves the 24/7 title a lot. Charlie Caruso is with AJ Styles. Okay, so I forgot to mention something. So an hour before Raw goes on the air, they announced that there was a fatal four-way match to crown the number one contender for the Universal title. It was Braun, Bobby, Miz, and AJ. So within the first hour of the show, I forgot to mention this, they stated that AJ's injured and he cannot wrestle. He's replaced by Baron Corbin. Okay, cool. So Charlie Caruso's with AJ in the trainer's room. She noted that he was supposed to compete tonight in a number one contenders match, but he was replaced by Baron Corbin. Styles admitted that he was hurt and cannot compete. He said that he wanted to go, but can't. Styles began explaining his injury when Corbin suddenly appeared unnoticed and smacked Styles, knocked him right off the little table that they had there in the trainer's room, and Styles was going to tell us what the injury was and really didn't get a chance to. So I did a little looking, and apparently AJ Styles is not scheduled for any live events or anything at all, really, except for Saudi Arabia, Super Showdown on the 7th, and Stomping Ground at the end of June, which is weird. He's set for the pay-per-views, but he's not advertised for anything else. So I don't know exactly what's going on with AJ, whether he's just taking some time off from live events or whether he's really hurt. We don't know. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what does happen. So next up, we get the apparently Raw Women's Tag Team Champions, because that's what it said on the screen. the Raw Women's Tag Team Champions, the Iconics, taking on Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross. Let me look at something really quickly. I want to take a double look at that graphic. If it said Raw Women's Tag Team Champions, or if it was just Raw Tag Team Raw Women's. Let me see something really fast. So I've got the graphic right here. It says right on it. Yeah. Someone made a graphic that said Raw Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, I believe these titles are still going to stay, traveling any brand. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So going forward, they took on Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross. Second match of the night. 75 minutes into the show. And technically it was the first match, if you don't want to count that Shane debacle of a segment, a match. So Cross fought against Billie Kay early, got a little bit control, and then they sent Nikki Cross and sent Billie Kay to the ring. Billie Kay got back in and tagged in Peyton Royce, who hit a crossbody. Back from a commercial break, Kay was back in control, and really, we don't know what happened. There was a lot of confusion. Even the announcers were a little confused at this point. Cross tried to roll up, but the referee was distracted by Becky Lynch. Yeah. You try to pin somebody, and your partner is distracting the ref. What the fuck? Lynch got the hot tag and hit Royce with a flying forearm, big boot, spinning kick, and an exploder suplex. Lynch then stomped away on her in the corner as the crowd chanted for Lynch. Lynch hit a diving leg drop off the ropes, but Kay broke up the cover. Kay and Royce did a double team move on Lynch, but she kicked out. Cross yanked Kay off the apron. Then Lynch gave Royce a Uranagi for the pinfall. Junior Neves, thank you. They were calling moves. They were calling this move the manhandle slam. That Uranagi-like move that Peyton Royce did do. After the match, Lacey Evans would come out. She stuttered or stumbled around a little and then left. That was it. Nothing. So we go backstage to the block party the Usos are throwing. Tamina shows up and looked like there was going to be some tension between her and Naomi, and then it was all family as usual. So then the Revival shows up. And they're like, who invited you? And Naomi's like, whoa, I did. We all need to get along. Yeah, Joe Decker, I did see it. Thank you. The ref was John Cone. And Naomi was like, we just all need to get along. We need to quit this beef. And it was like, okay. And so, like, Dash Wilder offered some chips, and they accidentally got bumped or squashed or, I don't know, knocked out of his hand. And then one of the other Usos went to shake Scott Dawson's hand and didn't want to let go. It was awkward. So then we got a nice, almost 10-minute match between Ricochet and Cesaro. Finally, the first good wrestling on tonight's wrestling show. Ricochet was all over Cesaro early in this match and hit a Fosbury flop leading to a commercial break. After the break, Cesaro was in control, and they didn't bother to show us at all how that happened. Ricochet avoided an uppercut and hit a super kick. Ricochet then hit a springboard clothesline for 2, followed by a standing shooting star press for another 2 count. Ricochet went to the top, but Cesaro cut him off with another uppercut. Cesaro tried a superplex, but Ricochet used his knees to get out of it. Ricochet missed a 630, and Cesaro killed him with an uppercut, which sent him into the turnbuckle for a close near fall. Cesaro then blocked a Hurricane Rana attempt, and Ricochet countered that block into a code red for a near fall. With Cesaro's back to the apron, Ricochet did a handspring on the apron and wrapped his legs around Cesaro's head to hoist himself back into the ring. Very cool spot here. And spun around into a Hurricane Rana into a pin. Victory. Ricochet finally wins a match on the main roster as a singles guy. Very entertaining match. Really liked this, and the crowd was really behind Ricochet. So then we got the State of the United States Championship. Basically, the announcer stated that next week on Raw, Rey Mysterio will appear to relinquish the United States Championship due to having a separated shoulder. So as they were speaking, Samoa Joe interrupted. And he said, next week, you say Raw or Rey's coming here? Well, I'll be there ready to take my title back. So, Joe wants to regain the United States Championship. We'll see how that all goes. They then plugged a new talk show segment hosted by Corey Graves called The Electric Chair. Not like we don't need a third fucking talk show on Raw. We've already got The Miz TV. We've got The Moment of Bliss. Like what? Squink Out 6ix9ine, Ray's still under contract WWE. He can't go to AEW. I don't know why you're thinking that his injury is going to bring him to AEW. He's legitimately injured. Separated his shoulder. That's why he's relinquishing the title. Not because he's leaving. He's still got months on his contract. His out, like his early out of his contract isn't even coming up yet. His early out is not till, let me do some math here. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. He's still got a year before he can even get out of his contract. He signed a 3-year deal with an 18-month out. The 18-month out is next April. So Ray can't do anything until next April. So for people thinking, oh, he's relinquishing the title because he's leaving the company. No. Also, Tito, you keep asking about Buddy Murphy. He was drafted or in the, well, not drafted, but in the shakeup, he was put on SmackDown. So, I don't know what they're doing. Chris Jones, it was a 3-year deal with an 18-month out. So, if Ray wanted to leave at the 18-month mark, he could if he wanted to. So, going forward, we go back to this block party. Dash Wilder and Jimmy Uso are playing cornhole. And they both landed it right in the hole. And it was like, okay, cool. Miz then cut a pre-tape promo saying that he wants to earn the Universal Championship. He also stated that, this is an exciting time for me right now because I'm having another baby girl, as me and Maurice just announced this past weekend. Crowd popped for that. Thanos snaps, says in the chat. Rey Mysterio should have waited. Hold on, this chat's going too fast, so I missed his thing. Rey Mysterio should have waited for months to go to AEW. So you're saying that when he signed with WWE last October, he should have waited to go to AEW? Nobody knew what Tony Khan and the Bucks didn't even know what AEW was going to be last October. They knew they wanted to do something, but they didn't know what their company would be. Nobody knew what AEW was back in October, and that's when Ray signed with WWE. So to say that he should have waited, that's a short-sighted comment. Not to be rude or anything, but that's a very short-sighted comment because there's no way for him to have known that the Bucks and Tony Khan were starting a new company 4 months before they announced it. No way to know. It's just, I don't know. So then Braun Strowman cuts a promo from gorilla position. He started yelling randomly, just saying a lot of random things, and his music hits. He issued warnings to everybody in this match tonight. But in the middle of it, he added, Miz, I just want to congratulate you on the reveal of your new child. Like, what? He's yelling that he's going to beat all these people's asses. He's saying that Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin don't deserve to have a shot at the Universal title. And then he's just like, Miz, congratulations on your new baby. Like, what? So, we get the Fatal 4-Way match as Hour 3 begins. Again, 2 hours into this show, 2 hours down, and we've had technically three matches. So, before this match was just announced as a Fatal 4-Way, then we get down there and we hear Mike Rome. This Following matchup is a Fatal 4-Way Elimination number 1 contenders match. I'm like, oh, it's elimination. Okay. They're going to make this match go long. Match wins 16 minutes. The Tower of Doom spot at one point where Strowman slammed all 3 of his opponents off the ropes. He followed that up with a double drop kick to Corbin and Lashley. Strowman went for a running tackle on the outside, but Lashley cut him off with a tackle of his own. Lashley and Corbin ran Miz into the barricade and gave Strowman a double vertical suplex on the ramp. After commercial break, Corbin and Lashley remained in control. Miz made a brief comeback, but was cut off by Lashley, who gave him a long-delayed vertical suplex for a 2. Miz fought back, but it wasn't really much of a comeback. He did hit some nice yes kicks, I'll say that. And a running clothesline in the corner to Lashley. Corbin then caught Miz with a deep 6 for a near fall. Going forward. Give me 1 second, guys. These people in the chat tonight, they're just aggressive. I've banned I don't know how many people already. So, going forward. Strowman then reemerges and handed out running avalanches in the corner to Corbin and Lashley. He slammed Miz on the apron, took out Corbin with a tackle, and then sent Lashley into the crowd. Strowman and Lashley fought all the way to the back and then disappeared. So it's like, okay, they'll come back. Miz then ran wild on Corbin, again hitting running knee strikes in the corner. Crowd was actually into this at this point. Then Corbin caught Miz with the ended days and pinned him. And then all of a sudden, the bell rings, and the match is over. And they're like, Baron Corbin is your winner, the new number 1 contender. And the announcers go, Corbin wins after Lashley and Strowman fight through the crowd and out of the arena. And I'm like, wait. This is not... There's no count out. People have been fighting down the ringside all this match, and there's no count out. Like, how are you going to all of a sudden, literally 16 minutes prior, say this is an elimination match, and then at the first elimination, the first pin of the match, all of a sudden it's over? So it's a one-fall finish? I don't get that at all. Yes, Strowman and Lashley fought to the back. They went back to the back. But the match isn't over technically because it's no countouts. They could have came back and the match could have kept on going. It was just so dumb. Don't call it a fucking elimination match if you're not going to do any fucking eliminations. I know I'm cussing a lot, but this was some of the stupidest shit that WWE's done in a while. Like, earlier in the night, it wasn't an elimination match. Then at the start of the match, Mike Rome's told to call it an elimination match. Then there's no fucking eliminations. Now, if there were countouts, you should have said both Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley have been eliminated via countout. But they didn't. They didn't. No Thanos snaps. It wasn't a botch. If it was a botch, they wouldn't have announced him as the number 1 contender. They wouldn't have played his music. They wouldn't have had the graphics. He was supposed to win, but he shouldn't have fucking won like this. No. This was just so dumb to have Baron Corbin win an elimination match with no eliminations. It was like... It's like going in there and having a Royal Rumble match, and then the first 2 people are in the match, and one guy gets thrown out before the third person comes out, and you're like, oh, well, never mind. The match is over. There's only one guy left in the ring. Basically the same fucking thing. So stupid. So stupid. Like, do they think we're that dumb to forget that 16 minutes ago when you did the ring entrances that this was elimination? No, Jerry. The announcer didn't mess up because the commentators were even stating elimination. Okay, Tangling No says that they did state earlier in the night that it was elimination. So I must have missed that earlier. It's like, just so stupid. let's move on. Because I'm getting a little heated with this because I thought this show was dumb, and this was the dumbest part of the whole show. When you announce something as an elimination match, and there are no eliminations, it's just one fall to effect. I'm just rambling. Let's go to Firefly Funhouse. Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt had a paper plate held to his face with a drawing of his mask on it. Bray then dressed as a doctor and diagnosed Abby the witch as a bully. She said that she was sick of being stuck in limbo. The word limbo triggered a game of limbo where Bray did the spider walk under a limbo bar. Kids appeared nonplussed, non-amused, as Bray said, "Let me in." We then learned that tomorrow night on SmackDown Live, even though he was attacked and brutally assaulted, quote-unquote, tonight, Kofi Kingston will be taking on Kevin Owens tomorrow on SmackDown. So then we get the electric chair with Corey Graves and his special guest, Sami Zayn. So Corey Graves says this is the first ever episode of the electric chair. WWE superstars will be forced to sit in the electric chair and tell the truth with questions provided by the WWE Universe. So I assumed they had some bullshit questions from like Twitter or fake questions they were just going to throw up on the screen and Corey was going to ask them. But that wasn't it at all. They had Charlie Caruso, Kayla Braxton, and Shara Schreiber in the crowd asking questions from the damn fans. So Corey sits Sami down in this chair and he says, "Charlie Caruso, have you found a fan to ask Sami Zayn a question?" He basically said, "Sami, when's your retirement date going to be?" Sami asked the guy if his mother and father were related. He goes, "We're in Kansas City, you know." A young girl holding a toy women's championship belt then asked if he missed the ginger snaps from the mixed match challenge. Sami asked her if he was talking about Becky Lynch. And the girl said, "Duh." And Sami mocked her and said, where are her parents? He then asked, "You sure you're talking about Becky Lynch? Or you're really asking about Seth Rollins?" Wink, wink. The girl tried speaking into the mic, but Caruso pulled it away. Another fan then asked what it was like getting destroyed by Braun Strowman. Zayn said, I'll punch you right in the face. He then realized, oh wait, no, we're in America. Americans won't fight me back. They'll just sue me, tie you up in litigation. Zayn didn't like the question. He said that he's like, you guys can ask me anything. Ask me about my love life. Am I a good kisser? Of course I'm a good kisser. I'm Sami Zayn. He's like, you guys can ask me anything. Ask me about the Universal Championship. No. I take that back. A fan asked him why he hasn't won the Universal Championship yet. And Zayn goes, again, why are you guys asking such dumb questions? You can ask me about anything, including AEW. He literally says, you can ask me anything, including about AEW. Crowd started chanting for AEW, and that was the end of the questions. Graves then tried to move on from this, and Seth Rollins interrupted. Zayn bailed from the ring, and Rollins tossed a chair at him. Go to commercial. When we come back, we get Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins. 20-minute great match. Loved the match. Took me out of it a little bit with the knee thing, and I get it. He's supposed to be hurt, so at any time, freaking Brock could come down and cash in, which it didn't happen. But regardless, I liked the match. Sami, Seth, two of the best workers on the roster. So after commercial break, they traded some counters until Rollins connected with a super kick. Rollins followed it with punches, chops, and a sling blade and a blockbuster. Zayn rolled out of the ring, and Rollins hit him with a dive. Consecutive dives, I may add, and Rollins landed awkwardly on his knee. I think it was his left knee. Yeah, his left knee on the second dive. And the announcer stated that it looks like he may have hurt himself. And with a down to champion, maybe that's a good time for Lesnar to come cash in. So Zayn went for a buckle bomb. Seth went for a buckle bomb and his knee gave out. Zayn then hit him with a nice DDT. Zayn then attacked the knee. Put him in a... Well, first I skipped ahead. Zayn attacks him with a knee, but Rollins rolled him into the turnbuckle and hit a super kick. Hurt the knee when he hit the super kick, and then Zayn avoided a curb stomp. As he avoided the curb stomp, he then put a down to Seth Rollins in the figure 4. Rollins reversed it, and basically when you reverse a figure 4, the guy that first applied it, of course, now hurts him. He got to the ropes, break, blah, blah, blah. Rollins countered a Blue Thunderbomb attempt and hit an Enziguri, but then Zayn countered a knee strike into a Blue Thunderbomb for a near fall. Zayn tried a superplex, but Rollins pushed him off the top. Rollins went for a frog splash, jumping off the top rope off of one leg. Still got good height off of that one-legged jump, but Sami got his knees up. Went for cover, only got a 2. Traded slaps and fists and whatnot until Rollins knocked Zayn out of the ring. As Zayn went to slide back into the ring, he was hit with a curb stomp. Rollins then hit him with the second curb stomp. And it was funny, as Sami's right there to take the curb stomp, he looks at freaking Seth, and he's like, "No, don't do it." But Seth hits him anyways and pins him. Really good match, and the show just goes off the air. So as the match is winding down, I'm looking at the clock because I'm like, all right, if Brock's going to cash in, which I don't think he's going to do, he's got to do it with he's got to come out less than 3 minutes to go. Or right around the 3-minute mark. And we got 2 minutes left in the show. I'm like, there's no way he can cash in. 1 minute left in the show. I'm like, there's no way he can cash in. Less than a minute left in the show. Didn't happen. Yeah, like I said, for it to work, Brock would have had to come down with 3 minutes to go. Either way, he didn't come down, didn't cash in, and that, my folks, my friends, my people, was Monday Night Raw. Now, what did you guys think of Monday Night Raw? You guys can text in. You guys can call in. You guys can let me know in the chat if you do want to get your chat for sure read. If you want to make sure I do see your question in the chat, you can always throw it up with a super chat donation. Super chat donations do help us keep the channel going, do help grow this channel. Any little bit does help. So with that, if you do want to text in your question, you can do so at 510-906-1341. You can call into the show at 559-475-8473. So with that, let's see if we've got any. Well, actually, we've got a call coming in. I was going to read text messages first, but we've got a call coming in, so let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim. How's it going?
Good. Yourself?
I have a few things to say about Super Showdown.
Pardon?
I have a few things to say about Super Showdown.
Go for it.
Honestly, do you think the 50-man Battle Royal is going to work? Because with all the singles matches that are going on with rivalry matches.
Oh yeah, they can do like they did remember last year they did the Greatest Royal Rumble and they had people from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
But do you think 50 men could fit in the ring
at one time? I don't know. That's going to be a stretch. They're going to have to really, really extra enforce that ring.
Yeah, because I feel like they have to make the ring bigger.
Maybe
for that to work.
Maybe.
And also, what do you think is going to happen with the United States Championship since Ray will probably have to relinquish the title?
Well, it's not probably. They did announce tonight that he will be on Raw next week to vacate the title. And I think it might just go back to Joe.
I honestly think they could do a mini tournament maybe.
That'd be fun.
And have Joe be in the tournament. Because, it would actually be fair to everyone else. Because it's not fair if we're just going to hand the title back to Joe.
I don't know if they would just...
No guarantee.
Right. I don't know if they would just hand the title back to Joe. But they may set something up. Maybe a match for Saudi Arabia. Or something with Joe and somebody else. We'll see.
Because I feel like maybe Joe will have to win a match to get that opportunity back because of the no guaranteed rematch clause.
Yes, but you also have to remember that at Money in the Bank when he lost, technically the match should not have been over because his shoulder wasn't down. So he could have a case there to say, hey, either give me the title back or give me a title shot. He shouldn't have to earn it technically, since his shoulder was not down and he should not have been pinned.
That is true.
Right, because even if Ray wasn't hurt, that would still give them a way to do the rematch, Ray versus Joe for the title, if Ray wasn't hurt. So
that is actually true. That's all I got to say. Have a good night.
All right, have a great night. Thanks for the call. All right, let's check some of these text messages really fast. Okay, if people, I'm just gonna say this now. Sorry about that. I accidentally muted myself. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm not answering any questions on should blank WWE, should blank who is in WWE go to AEW. Because technically, all these people you guys are asking about, I'm going to give an example right here. The person in the text messages says, do you think EC3 should go to AEW? There's no... What? He's under contract to WWE. You can't think that anybody can just leave to go to AEW or anywhere else for that matter. I'm not going to answer those questions. If I see those questions in the chat, if I see those questions in the text messages, I'm going to just read right over them. So if anyone gets mad, my text didn't get read, that's why. Because you can't just say, and then the other one here. Here we go. John Moxley going to get Renee fired for what? Leaving WWE and signing with AEW and working for New Japan? How does that have anything to do with Renee? How does that have anything to do with Renee? That was like somebody earlier asking me if Peyton Royce is going to be in trouble because her fiance was in the freaking Casino Battle Royal. One has nothing to do with the other. And if WWE was to punish somebody for their significant other being in AEW, that's fucking bullshit for someone to even think. Like, please, people, use some common sense when it comes to AEW. They're just another company. You guys don't ask, oh, is this person going to leave to go to Ring of Honor? Is this person going to leave to go to New Japan? Is this person going to leave to go to Impact? You've got to use some common sense. WWE is not going to punish somebody's significant other just because their boyfriend or husband or fiance is working for another company. If that's the case, we've seen that a lot over the years. Mickie James' husband is the NWA champion. Has she been punished for that? No. Moving forward, let's take a call. Caller on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Not much. What's up?
Oh, I just have a couple of questions, couple of comments. The first thing is that ending to the Cesaro Ricochet match was pretty cool, actually. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I liked it.
For that being the first match of a true not technical match of the night, but the first legitimate match of the night, it was pretty good. But my second comment was a little bit with the quote unquote Raw women's tag team championship belts. I mean, I'm not sure if that was just a typo or anything, but they better not be making another set of women's tag belts.
I was thinking the same thing. I hope they're not, but I wouldn't see how you would even make it work.
There's just not enough women, especially on SmackDown.
Well, I mean, there's not even enough women on Raw to make enough tag teams.
Exactly. I don't even know if there's any legit tag teams right now besides Fire and Desire. See, Nia and Tamina. Well, Nia's hurt.
Nia's going to be out probably for the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how you're gonna make that work, but
because you were trying to think of teams. I mean, all you've got, you said Fire and Desire. You did forget Kabuki Warriors.
Oh yeah, that's a good team.
But other than that, what do you got? Becky and Nikki Cross now a tag team?
No.
Like what?
Now you're just throwing together random teams,
Exactly.
But yeah. And the second thing is the third thing now with the question. Now, I was right within the same boat with the whole electric chair thing. I thought they were gonna pull some bullshit thing from Twitter, but it was actually a little bit better than I thought. But were those plants?
I don't know.
They didn't seem like plants to me, like how the WWE would use a plant. Like,
right.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying it just felt more like real.
Right, they could have been plants, but when the one guy asked this question and then wooed after it, I was like, that's a fan. And then when the little girl was like, duh, and tried to keep on talking and they pulled the mic away from her, that didn't seem like a plant either, so.
Yeah, I mean, usually you know when plants are happening, like the whole Nicholas thing or something. Like, usually you know where the plants are, but the whole, like, thing was actually, like, not as bad. And do you think with the whole Sami Zayn thing, do you think the whole AEW comment, do you think that he was told to say that? Or
had to be. Nobody is going to go out in a ring for WWE and just say AEW if they're not told to.
Yeah, that is very true. And this is a really, really dumb question, but can AEW, like, get the WWE in trouble for saying their company?
No.
Okay. I was just, wondering. But, hey, Tim, it's good talking to you like always, and that's about all I got for you tonight.
Thanks for the call and have a great night.
Yep.
All right, let's check some of these text messages here before we go forward. Got a couple of them in here. Let's see. Person here says, do you think Goldberg will be going to AEW after Super Showdown? I'm trying to look into some stuff on that. I do believe that with Goldberg working Super Showdown, he also signed a contract with WWE, kind of similar to the Kurt Angle Undertaker new deals, to have them still under the WWE umbrella. This person here says, do you like the new side of Dolph? I do. I do like the new, what is it called? The new aggressive side of Dolph Ziggler. I do really like that. Taylor Pergam in the chat. That's not breaking news. That news actually came out hours ago. Just looking at some more of these questions. Assist person says, I know it's not WWE related, but do you think anyone except Moxley to show up at Double or Nothing? Wait, what? This question doesn't make sense. Do you think anyone expected Moxley? Yes, people expected him, but they expected him to be in that Battle Royal. They did not expect him to come out the way that he did. And when he wasn't in the Battle Royal, as someone that was there, a lot of people were like, oh, I guess we're not getting Moxley tonight. I guess we're not getting Moxley tonight. People around me were saying that. And then when he showed up at the end, it was a really, really good, big surprise. This person says, are they going to do these segments with comedy lead up to SmackDown Live 5? I don't know how they're going to, position stuff and set up the shows and all that going into SmackDown. I really don't know. Just looking here. This person says, who do you think will pin R-Truth for the 24/7 championship? I kind of hope that it would be like a Lars Sullivan. Somebody that can finally give that title legitimacy. I understand that it being on Truth is kind of perfect, but you got to get that over with some sort of legitimacy. And I think a Lars Sullivan or even a Braun Strowman, somebody like that could really do wonders with that title. But let's take another call. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, how you doing? This is JD, man.
How's it going? What's up?
Hey, this Memorial Day wrestling-changing AEW weekend. I don't even really want to talk about Raw because, wow, that was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
But, hey, man, I got to ask you one question.
Go for it.
How cool was it standing next to Dave Meltzer, and you have Mark Henry coming up through the media to talk to Cody Rhodes?
Well, it's not the first time I've met Meltzer.
I kind of figured that.
I've been at New Japan shows where he was as well. I mean, I was the one that told him, because when they did the New Japan show last year in July, it was the same night that Cormier won the UFC Heavyweight Championship, and we were all in the media room, and I had the fight on my phone, so I was the one that informed him, hey, your boy Cormier just won the title, and Meltzer started jumping up and down like a little schoolgirl excited. But you also asked about Mark Henry. He literally shoved me out of the way to get up to Cody.
That moment right there looked like a really awesome moment to be a part of, because the question that he asked about the ethnic groups,
Exactly. Great question.
all the changes that wrestling is trying to make, and WWE is not helping at all right now. But that statement that Cody made about when his wife, that he had a interracial marriage, and when he said, "I don't see color," and then when Brandy said, "Then you don't experience who I am." And
Right.
Mark Henry was the perfect person to stand right there to ask that question.
And he
Man,
didn't know
and
he didn't know he was going to get that response.
That was an awesome moment, man.
Right. I mean, it was a little funny because when we all walked into the media room after the show, someone goes, "Oh, hey, Mark Henry's just chilling backstage. Don't tweet that out and get him in trouble." But he was actually working his media because he works for SiriusXM. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Hey, man, what was your best of the match at Double or Nothing?
My favorite match was Cody Dustin.
I agree. I totally agree. The story that they told
Yes.
in that half hour, oh my God.
Great match.
It blew anything that WWE has done in over the last probably year, if not longer, man. There was people crying in the audience at the end of that show. When you have all that emotion, that buildup, Cody was being cheered as soon as he came out. Halfway through the match, it was almost like a Rocky thing going on, a Rocky Four, where, Cody was being cheered, but towards the middle, he was getting booed. And towards the end, he was kind of getting booed-ish.
Well,
because of the story.
It
was beautiful, man.
It was a little weird for me that he came out, at the beginning of the night as the big baby face. Then he works the whole match as a heel, having his wife try to help him and all this. And then the match is over, and he's babyface again. I want to team with my brother. So it was a little weird. But as far as the match itself goes, I did like it. I didn't think the busting of the Triple H throne was needed. But Cody did state that entrance, doing that, came to him in a dream.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It was funny. No, I don't think it was needed, but I got a little pop out of it. Just to say. Man, Moxley coming out at the end, attacking both Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega and throwing Kenny around. Man, holy crap. And then he also said that he also was going to be doing matches in New Japan.
Right.
Wow, dude. This is the change. What happened this weekend is going to change the wrestling world, period.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so excited for this. Go ahead, man. I want to hear your opinions and thoughts.
So as far as Moxley goes, Tony Khan said that they didn't speak to him while he was still under contract with WWE because they weren't allowed to. But Tony Khan said that the first day Moxley was available to talk, Moxley contacted Tony Khan. And they do have in his contract that it's a multi-year deal, full-time with AEW, but because AEW is going to have some downtime here and there because they're not going to run pay-per-views all the time. There may be months where there's not an AEW pay-per-view, and they don't have TV starting till October. So he did state that Moxley is allowed to take independent dates in the United States, which he is working against Pentagon for Northeastern Championship Wrestling, I think it is, in August.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and he's allowed to take international dates as well. So one thing I do have to state... Go for it.
I was going to say also at that show, Moxley's wife's going to be there too.
Right. Which I think
How is that going to work out?
I think she was already scheduled to do an appearance there prior. Because her and Corey Graves have done like 2 or 3 already for them. So that's something that has already happened in the past.
Okay, well, here's a hypothetical thing, which I really hope that WWE does not do this. they punished everybody else for, people leaving, not signing contracts, blah, blah, blah. I really hope that they do not punish her in any kind of way, because that's going to make WWE look bad, because all the fans are going to see right through that.
They love Renee, so I don't think they would.
I hope not, man. I really don't.
Right.
But hey, Tim, that this past weekend was awesome, man. I wish I could have been a bird on your shoulder. That was awesome, man. That life-changing experience. I'm really sad for what WWE put out tonight, because after what they did on Saturday, and they come out with this sorry-ass show where they only show 5 matches in 3 hours. The first hour was a bunch of promos and bullshit. I thought it was kind of funny that Brock kind of danced around a little bit. But, man, the only thing that I really got out of the show tonight was the Firefly Funhouse, the Cesaro match with Ricochet. That was about it, man. Hey, man, what are your thoughts tonight, baby? JD out.
So, I mean, like I said, I thought the show was horrible tonight. I thought the show could have been a lot better, especially, you would have thought AEW has an amazing show, amazing first show. Let's give some amazing stuff here on Raw. But no, they went par for the course, what we expected from WWE. Not even what we expected from WWE. This was worse than what we normally expect from WWE, to be completely 100% honest. I thought, WWE may try to do something good this week because of the AEW thing. But I didn't think they were just going to give us this bullshit. But let's see. Actually, I like this question in the text message. 269 says, could you see Naomi and Tamina being a tag team? And I can. With Nia Jax now out, what do you do with Tamina? Put her in a tag team with Naomi. Boom. Women's tag title shot. I actually like that idea. 817 says, what do you think of Double or Nothing? Go check our Double or Nothing review if you want to know my thoughts of the show. I give my thoughts of being there live and seeing it on television as well, because I was there live Saturday night, and then on my 7 hour drive home, I watched the show as well. So I saw it both ways, and I was able to kind of compare a little bit here and there. But just looking at other things. Let's take this one final call. And here we go. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim, I have a question, actually, if you can answer this for me. I'm a big fan of the events they do for the military.
Right.
I'm wondering why WWE doesn't do two shows instead of going to Saudi Arabia when they know certain stars aren't going to go and stuff like that. I know they're making money off of them, but why don't they do a show on Memorial Day, instead of a Raw or something like that, and a show on Veterans Day, and then a show on Christmas? Does WWE not make a ton of money off of the shows for Christmas?
No, because they're not selling tickets to those shows. Basically, what it is they go to the military base. Like if the show's done at the base, like this last one was, they go to the base, and they just put on the show. Tickets are not actually sold; they are just given away to the military members and their families.
Oh, so you don't think WWE can do a special pay-per-view or something like that at the
probably
event, and then
probably not, because it would be a money loser for the most part, because like I said, they're not really selling tickets. Now, if they were to sell tickets, see, it's hard because you're asking if they would do a pay-per-view on a military base. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, no, do a special event, how they did Beast in the East in Japan, and they did a thing on what's it called, the network.
Okay.
Why don't they do that an event like that for military people on the WWE network, and they can make money off of that and donate to military causes and stuff like that.
But you're asking them to do a show straight for military people. They don't make any money off of that, like I stated, because they don't sell tickets. So doing it once a year is okay for the company, but doing it more than that, it's, they're losing money again.
And I was thinking about this. I'm not sure if you would like this idea. I was with this whole thing, this whole feud with Shane and Roman and stuff like that. They brought his cousin Lance on Hawaii to the show and stuff like that. Why don't they? What they should do is sign him to a contract, pair him with the Usos and Roman, and then hire Jacob Fatu, their uncle, and make a Samoan stable with Roman at the helm at the main event guy.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Lance Anoa'i. I know he had a tryout at the Performance Center a month and a half ago. I don't know if he's been signed or not, so I don't know. They could sign him. He is a really good young talent, but putting him all together with maybe the others, I don't know if you really want to do that. It would kind of be cool for a little while, but I don't know if it would be a good long-term.
My idea is but I'm not sure WWE has a coherent thought in their head to do this, but because didn't Vince have problems with the Samoans? Like, weren't back in the 80s and 90s or whatever, didn't the Samoans constantly cause problems for Vince and his father? Stuff like that, or the Samoans?
I don't know, so I don't want to comment on that and be wrong. I honestly don't know, so I can't really comment on that.
Being as a rebel, not causing problems physically, losing their money, but on the show, causing mayhem,
But they don't want Roman to be a heel, and that's a heel thing to do.
Yeah, can't that be a fake thing as well? That type of thing?
Not really, to be honest. No.
Oh, okay. And honestly, the show was horrible. I stopped watching it after, and I was watching baseball. I started watching a late night baseball game on MLB Network or whatever, highlights of baseball games and stuff like that. That's how bad the show was and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I've been saying it the whole time. Not a good show at all.
And do you think? What do you think? What's your predictions for NXT coming up in June? Is it June or July?
June 1st, and I want to say
June
1st, and I want to say thank you for the call. Have a great night. So I'm not going to give my predictions yet because there's still a couple more weeks of build that we have to see on the NXT television show for NXT TakeOver 25. Nick and I will do full, predictions of that show the week of, and so I can't really gauge yet because I want to see how the television goes. I know you're going to say, well, you could read the spoilers. I can, but spoilers don't always give backstage segments with NXT. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched us here live on the YouTube Pro Wrestling Unlimited YouTube channel as we talk tonight's horrible Monday Night Raw. We'll be live again tomorrow night following SmackDown Live. We'll be here Wednesday with the PW Unlimited Wednesday show. Myself and Nick. Nick can finally give you his thoughts of Double or Nothing. We can talk to you. Basically, we can tell you that this week's Wednesday show is going to be fun because we can tell you everything that went down over Double or Nothing and StarCast weekend. So we've got some stories you can probably tell. We got some. This week's Wednesday show should be fun. I'll just put that out there. With that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. You can follow us online anywhere, basically. There's a social media platform. On Twitter at PW Unlimited. Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you again tomorrow.